So, good evening, everybody, once again. We are going to start this session. Manoj, please change the slide.
Yeah, good evening, Mr.
Good
Kurana.
evening. How are you, Mr. Bhatt? Mr. Jayat?
I'm fine, thank you.
So, I
Absolutely
can
fine.
uh,
How are you?
I can recognize your voice as well. Right.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
good evening, Mr. Jayatka, and good evening, Mr. Shah.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Jaidka and
Good
Mr.
evening.
Shah.
So, we welcome
Good evening.
all our distinguished guests. So, I am Harish Khurana. So I have been
Yes,
associated with welding industry since 1984 and have been part of Adore Group as well.
correct.
Have worked with ESAB also. And now we conduct training programs on welding and do consultancy.
Hmm.
So this topic, after this uh, COVID-19 issue, so we thought that lot of industries have started opening now. And lot of challenges are being faced. So we decided from the Delhi branch to have such a session so that your experiences, since you all are quite senior in your organizations and heading the organizations departments as well. So we thought that let's select few people so that we can discuss and a lot of people can get benefit out of it because a lot of organizations are still to open. So this opportunity was given to me just to start this, and I will request Mr. Shah to start with. All the speakers will have 15 to 20 minutes. So I'll just read out the profile of Mr. Shah. Mr. Shah is designated in Blue Star as General Manager Manufacturing. He is a mechanical engineer and having overall 29 years of industrial experience in consumer durable industries and air conditioning and refrigeration industry. Presently working with Blue Star Limited at Kalaam. It is in Himachal Pradesh from last 20 years. Previous to that, he worked with the BPL Limited and IFB Industries, working experience in industrial engineering. He has an experience in production, R&D, maintenance, and projects. Presently working as plant head, taking care of both plant operations at Blue Star Limited, Kalaam. So I request Mr. Sunil Shah to take over and let's have your views. Thank you, Mr. Shah. Please join.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Harish, for a brief introduction. First of all, I would like to thank IIW for inviting me to this panel discussion. And on the current topic, a burning topic, what industries are facing challenges and what we are going to face after COVID-19 thing. Good evening to my senior colleagues, Mr. Ravi Jaitka from BizJet and Mr. Satish Bhatt from Adore Welding. Good evening to
Good
Manoj
evening.
Yadav for inviting to me for this panel. And today's topic is industrial challenges post-COVID. So, as I think, I would like to categorize these challenges into 6 categories. The number first, the biggest challenge what industry is going to face will be the health of the workers, basically. And that is the biggest challenge which we need to take care once we reopen after this lockdown period. And some industries already opened and they are already doing their best to take care of health, and which is very important. The second thing will be the challenge what we are going to face will be the demand. That this COVID-19 is going to impact our customer demand because the customer sentiment is going to change, and accordingly the demand will also change. The third thing, the challenges what as the industries are going to face will be the supply chain. The disruption due to this closure and the travel ban and so many other things will impact on our supply chain entirely. The third thing will be the reduced cash flow. The cash flow is going to impact heavily, and we need to make some arrangements for improving our cash flows. Fourth things will be the capex will be another areas where we need to spend judiciously and try to shift as the demands are going to go down. And the last but not least will be the skill development and the skill challenges and the workforce challenges what you're going to face, because most of the workers must have moved to their native places. So these are the major challenges, in my opinion, what we are going to face. And how to take care of these challenges will be the another thing. So as far as the health is concerned, I hope everybody is taking care of the social distancing and the sanitation, other parts in the industries, and I think everybody is doing to the best to their part. And this we need to continue for another quarter or two, basically, to take care of these health issues. Next thing will be the cash. The cash flow will be very critical during this period after the lockdown is open, and we need to manage the cash flow through various cost reduction initiatives. And I hope that everybody is doing on the same thing. Another thing will be the supply chain will be another area where we need to sustain the supply chain, align with our suppliers. Identify discretionary expenses also will be another things, and to reduce the cost reduction part. Capital expenditure, again, optimize capex and arrange additional funding will be required in this scenario, because cash flow will be one of the major area. Of course, this COVID has posed so many challenges, but every challenges and every crisis brings some opportunities also for us and for every country, and same it has brought to India also. And this opportunities will be definitely beneficial for our new age industries. COVID will act like a catalyst to unprecedented changes in every industries. And I would like to say the three major factors which will transform the industries after COVID will be first will be the agility. Agility means how we can respond to quick changes, may it be a planning or may it be execution. The agility will be important, and we need to respond to the customer demand or customer requirement to that fast. So that will be the one point which will help us to overcome these challenges. Another area which will bring a big change will be digital transformations. May it be a product, may it be a service. Digital transformation will be a big thing. It can be IoT, it can be augmented reality, or it can be any digital transformation that will bring a big change after this COVID-19, and we should be ready for that. Many industries are already started working on IoT before that, and that pace we need to expedite further to bring this change, and which will help us after this COVID-19 lockdown. Cloud and big data analytical will play a big role in digital transformations. Another thing which will bring a big change after this COVID-19 to face these challenges which I had shared earlier will be a big change in work from home culture. And it will be people and process both will get affected by that. This work from home culture will bring a big change in terms of four things that we can brief as a stop. S for social distancing. T for travel time. It will reduce the travel time to a great extent, and many IT industries already started doing it. Occupancy. Many of small offices, particularly in Mumbai and all, where the areas are less, occupancy will help in reaching by this work from home culture. The last but not least, the pollution. Movement, the travel will reduce. Definitely in metros, particularly, the pollution also will reduce to a big extent. So these three things like agility, digital transformation, work from home culture will bring a big change after this. And these three things we need to work on to overcome the challenges initially what we have discussed. Digital payment, healthcare, cyber security, e-commerce. These are the areas which will boom in the coming days. And online education, in terms of education, like already many institutes have started doing online education. That will also help us to bring these challenges for industries. Another area which will be important is our work culture and the people who are working with us, like their skill development. The skill development, we need to focus on that by giving more trainings, and we should have multifunctional people with us. So training will be another area which will be focused more to bring out these changes. Thank you. With this note, I would like to end my sharings. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Khurana.
Hello. I'm audible.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. Please.
Yes. So I request Mr. Satish Bhatt. Manoj, please change the slide. Since as I told you in the beginning also, I have also worked for this group company.
Yeah.
So Mr. Bhatt is also my very good motivator as well. So Mr. Satish Bhatt, currently holding the position of Managing Director at Adore Building Limited. He graduated in production engineering from VJTI and post-graduated from International Management Institute. He is also holding honorary post of Secretary to Association of Welding Products Manufacturers. Awards, lot of awards he has earned during this period. CEO with HR Orientation Award by Global HR Congress for the year 2018. India's most trusted CEO award by World Consulting and Research Corporation for Trendsetter of the year 2018. CEO of the year by Messi India and BDO. Most trusted CEO of Asia by International Brand awarded. So I request Mr. Satish Bhatt. So please take over. Let's have your views on this present situation, since you have already started operations also.
Yes.
We can have some more light on this present situation, how you are doing nowadays.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatt.
Yeah. Good evening, and Mr. Khurana, thanks for inviting me.
Good evening.
Good evening to my fellow panelists and all the audience, those who are participating. Let's understand that this is not the first time unique situation. Of course, in our life, our professional life, this has never happened. But world has already faced this situation long time back. You know, in 1918, swine flu, which was there for 2 years, and the vaccine for the same was actually invented in 1945. World War II also went on for 5 years. So world has already experienced this kind of situations. Of course, in our times, our professional career, or in our lifetime, most of our lifetime, this has happened for the first time. Today, roughly, these are rough estimate, about 2 lakh factories in India are under shutdown, and about 5 billion man days have been lost. Okay, this is the given right now. Now, in this given condition, and there are many givens, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not also going to repeat what Mr. Shah said. So what we'll do, we'll look at some different angles. Today, if you look at any one of us, we are looking at about a 1 year perspective right now. The industrial challenges post-COVID, minimum for 1 year, we are going to face this thing, meaning up to March 31st, 2021. In phased manner. As we go towards March 21st, I think normalcy will be, we will be near normal, okay, old normal. But we will have to live with the new normals also. So what is happening today? Today, what are the 2 challenges? and then I will categorize them further. First challenge is personal life and other challenge is professional life. Please understand, in last 45 days to 50 days, for some of us, most of us, and for some of us, the lockdown is going to be continued for another 15 days, 70 days. That's what is in air. So what has happened? You know, you look at it, our all habits have changed. We are staying with family. Habits of family members from getting up to going back to the bed have changed. It means that we were socializing a lot with friends, relatives, talking a lot, meeting people in society, you know, bumping with each other, or we were going to cinema hall, weddings, hotel, and other social functions. Now suddenly just understand, if such things are stopped in the life of person, the behavior of a person start changing, it gets affected. Now this is very important point, because person cannot be different in personal life and in the professional life. So the most important thing right now for all of us, most of us, is that how do we handle the emotional intelligence, with emotional intelligence, the behavior of our family member, which remains upbeat and also enthusiastic. Because if they are upbeat and enthusiastic, we will be upbeat and enthusiastic, and that will reflect in our professional life also. So this is one challenge which is faced by everybody today. Now moving from here, if we move, and in addition to that, we are all working from home right now. So when we work from home, as Mr. Shah said, it's a different paradigm altogether. So we are adopting to work from home. So there are different issues which we are facing. So the first and foremost, at family, we have to manage, as one of the senior member of the family, we have to ensure that people are, our family members are upbeat, their behavior is good, and they are enthusiastic. Now let's go to the, with this given, we have to get into the professional life, because all of us either working from home, or some of us, we started going to the factories. Now, as Mr. Khurana said, yeah, our three factories have started actually, barring Pune, all factories have started. But what has happened today? If you look at the business and challenges which we are facing, I can categorize these challenges into 5 P's. And all of us, we know Philip Kotler, the renowned father of marketing. These are related to 5 P's, which is basically people, place, product, promotion, and price. Every function within the organization is working either for one of them. So if we start, and I will give few examples to give the essence of the points which I am making, and then based on the questions and answer and discussion, we can elaborate on that. So if you look at the manufacturing, this is something which is very, very important. Now, when you start the factory, all of you must have seen so many videos are there on how do we take the safety and well-being of the people, because that's the most important thing today. When we start, we have seen that videos are there where sanitization, temperature checking, then sanitization of complete body, and then social distancing, canteen processes, even working processes, everything is changed. Now the whole point, what is important here, when your processes change, it affects your behavior. And in that behavior, how do you attain the efficiencies, which are actually, we were getting, say, prior to March 15, 2020, we were getting certain efficiencies, productivity. Now these are going to get affected. So how do we do that? Number 2, a lot of migrant workers are not there. Migrant workers will come, they will come after some time. So up to September, we are going to face this situation, or maybe post September up to December, we will have to live with these things. So how do we live with that? So low cost automation is required in most of the companies. Those who have started doing it in the past, they will get benefited, or at least, as Mr. Shah said, most of these situations will face new challenges towards us, and the need is the mother of invention. So most of the things people will start looking into this. I'm not going to go into the order, but I'm going to go function by function, and you will understand the crux of it. Now, sales function. In India, sales function meaning physical meeting. No sales guy sits in the office and does the sales. So sales guy's basic process or routine was to go to customer, go to dealer, go to associations and go there, give presentation, talk about product, show the model, show the design, show something, on paper, and discuss, finalize the orders. Now, please understand, in current scenario, nor your company is going to allow you to travel, and in fact, if it is allowing, the customer's company may not invite you in their premises. So it's a big change. So what happens? Meaning e-wave of sales process. Now, once you look at the doing sales digitally, it throws up a lot of challenges. You are now, most of the time when we do sales or we talk to somebody, other than our verbal communication, our body language also speaks. So the fellow sitting across the table, he judges us, our confidence in product, in sales guy's product, confidence in product. So many things are there. Now those are all gone. And in the new era, you have to start looking at the sales process. So it is going to be more like a Western world. When you go to Europe or States or any other developed countries, you will find that sales guys don't go every day to customer or even not for months and weeks. They go only when it is required, and then they sign up, and after that everything happens on orders are processed. So India will also, and communication through VC or phone, India will also have to adopt this going forward. So this is going to be a new normal, at least for 1 year. And after 1 year, God knows, this will become a habit also. So there will be a lot of positives which will come out of this. Marketing, exhibitions, we talk about, road shows and all that, those are gone. So most of the companies will have to start looking at the digital marketing. So digital marketing itself is a altogether different concept. So all companies will have to invest, whether small, medium, big, they will have to start looking at it. How do we do it? How do we reach out to people, say, suppose in month of September, in month of October, when things will start. Today, if suppose 50% of India is opened or 40% of India is open, gradually up to December, we will have 100%. Okay. Or people will come, they will work for some time. You never know what is going to happen, because if second wave of Corona comes, then what happens again? So there are so many uncertainties. So in these uncertainties also, we will have to do our businesses, companies will have to run. So how do we do that? So these are the challenges. There are solutions available, and one has to really adopt to those practices. Collection. Look at the biggest challenge. Collection used to be always, sometimes minimum times on phone, many times sales boy goes, collect the check. You from your customer or from your dealer or wherever you are. So now that is not going to happen. So this is the big challenge, because cash is going to be king. When cash is going to be king, collection is going to be a bigger issue. How do we do that? Even in the companies, those who are listed, like mine and many more will be there. Board meetings. Now I'm looking at the board meetings for up to January. Okay. At least by VC. So there will not be physical board meetings. So board meetings will happen with VC and at a distance. Now, when you have a board meetings with VC, then you have to prepare a lot of data has to be sent to the board member, notes have to be given. Now, which generally in the boardroom, we used to discuss together and then explain them. People will ask for questions, queries, and we used to reply to them and answer them. Now, this is all going to be done on the VC. Now, VC, there's a limitation to explanation. There's a limitation to what I'm saying, whether you are comprehending or not. So a lot of things are going to change. Your review meetings or PPC meetings, okay, production planning meetings on the shop floor, which generally happens mostly happens every day. Those are also going to happen with a distance, because you will not able to be together. So somewhere will be sitting somewhere. So there will be new normal even in that life. Now, when new normal comes in the life, behavior is the most important thing. So HR and IT are going to be the very, very strategic functions for this period. Why HR? Biggest meaning they will have to manage the behavior and they will have to ensure the motivational levels of all our employees in the given situation are very, very high. That's the most important thing which has to happen. If that, meaning HR will have to also look at, show a lot of, HR and leaders also will have to show a lot of empathy in all our actions with our people, So again, it's a new way of adopting to a professional life. So they have to work a lot on, as Mr. Shah said, training, culture, managing behavioral change, managing cultural change, talent group management, OD initiatives within the company, and so many things which happens, So those are going to be very, very important. And the other important thing, which is, of course, is currently, but IT, you're the information technology function within the company, because most of us, if we are not tech savvy, all of us will have to become, all people, those who are dealing with external world, and even in the manufacturing, people will have to become a tech savvy, meaning you will have to know how do we go on the meetings, how do we deal in the meetings on the digital platform, how to use it. Everybody, whether we should go on VC, we should go on long distance call conference or XYZ. So all these are going to be a change which are going to happen. So there's a lot of things which information technology department will have to do in everybody's organization. Price will be under tremendous pressure because, as said rightly, that their demand will not surge up. Demand will be less in the beginning, but I have my firm belief that once this comes to little normal, there will be consumption pattern will start post maybe second quarter, okay? And then people would like to do much more things, which are consumption, on the consumption infrastructure and all that. So people would like to do a lot of work in 6 months. So 9 months work in the 6 months, So we can see if we manage this situation properly, which Government of India and state governments are doing it. If it is managed properly, then consumption pattern will improve, and in second half things will be much better. So, but when we talk about much better, meaning again everybody is starving for that and everybody is ready to supply. So when such situation comes, prices will be under pressure. People will start unrealistic prices because nobody knows. I want, okay, that's what. So these scenarios will have to be managed by all of us. There are some positives also. I mean, some opportunities which will come. The opportunities will be a lot of indigenization will start happening. Dependence on the Western world. People will try to minimize. I'm not saying it will be zero, but people will try to find out opportunity to do that. So there will be opportunities for people to look into that. Mergers, acquisition, and technical tie-ups. Say, suppose it happens that the China as a base, and world would like to go outside, okay, and we get some of that investment. Then there will be an opportunity for some of us in that spectrum, and we can look at that opportunity and try to get into either joint venture, acquisition, not acquisition, technical tie-ups and all that. This is also a good time for investment into new products. Okay. Now, when things are good, we must do everything properly. But in such times, one has to identify where I can do business tomorrow. Okay, when everything. So if you have reserve money or some money available to us, you can get things done at a very, very competitive price. At present, when things start opening up a little bit, and you can invest into some part of those plant and machinery, which will start generating good revenue going forward in the next year. So that opportunity is also there. Lastly, a lot of SOPs, standard operating processes and all that will have to be, we will be generated by most of the company. One has to see how it is good for his company or her company. Meaning everything cannot be just taken as it is. We have to localize it to our company and ensure that those SOPs are actually implemented, adopted and implemented. Those are very important things. HR will also have to see how we don't go back to the old habits, because old habits can affect, or impact the health of the people in the current situation. So how do we? So there are these challenges, some opportunities. In a whole, we should not get bogged down. Yeah, it is tough, but we have to, as I said earlier, this is new for us, but it is not new for world. World has gone through these kind of cycles in the past, and they have come out of it also. Surely we will come out of it once we will have vaccination available. I think this corona becomes any other flu, but till that time we have to manage and learn good things out of it forever, for our lifetime, till the time we keep on working. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatt. You have given a detailed outlook on the present situation as very nicely.
Yeah.
So I'll request Manoj, please change the slide. So Jaitka sir, pranam.
Pranam sir, how are you?
Fine. So
Everybody,
Mr. Jaitka is currently holding the position of Executive Director in ISJEC Heavy Engineering Limited, Yamunanagar. He has completed his BE Mechanical Engineering in the year 1968 with honors from Thapar Engineering College. So social activities and pastime are past member of Senate of National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra, on the panel of LMT School of Management, Thapar University, Patiala, Haryana Overseas Placement Assistance Society, board member of Seth J. Prakash Mukund Lal Institute of Engineering and Technology, Rador, board member, past member of board of Yamuna Group of Institutions. I'll just say one thing more. Mr. Jaitka has been supporting our Delhi branch of Indian Institute of Welding.
Yeah.
Many of the times we have conducted programs in their premises as well. And he has chaired our programs in our branch seminars also. So there is a very active participation from them. Even Mr. Satish Bhatta Bedore also, they are very actively participating in our programs. So I request Mr. Jaitka to take over now, and let's have your views on the present burning situation, how you are looking forward to come out, and how your company has come out from the present situation slowly and slowly. Yes, Mr. Jaitka, please.
Thank you. Thank you. I welcome all the listeners, the participants, and my fellow people on the panel. And I'm very honored to be with you all. Can you all hear me clearly, sir? Am I audible? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, very much. Very
Yes,
much.
sir. Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir.
Yes, sir, audible.
My problem is in the sense that I'll have to say things which are already not said. Now, I feel that the world was known as before Christ and after Christ, BC and AD. Today, it is slightly different. It is BC and AC, before COVID and after COVID. So the world is going to go this way, before and after COVID. I will discuss with you what we are actually doing and how we are trying to come out stronger after this. Because I feel when the things get tough, the tough get going. So I think we have a great opportunity out of this. I think not ISJEC, but the entire country. New India, as our Prime Minister says, is going to have a great opportunity. And I think everyone is familiar with our company. We do about 5,000 crores. And you can look up at the website. I'll not describe our company. Our company is on the website. But I'll like to share how we were taken by surprise when this thing came. When people started talking about it, I thought, this is so far away in China. we have not too many people, Chinese people working in this country, and we are safe. That's what I felt, that we are safe. Suddenly, I found some problem in Singapore, then in Hong Kong, and then it went to other countries, it went to Italy. Italy was a big surprise. But then I realized that it is a country which has a lot of tourism. Then it spilled over into Spain, into France, into Germany, into United Kingdoms, and now in America it's causing havoc. The American people have been very badly hit. It's worse than a world war. For some unknown reason, we Indians have a much higher resistance to diseases and to weather and to dust and to viruses. We Indians have better immunity. And all said and done, we Indians in India, we are faring better with our lower resources, not as good facilities for medical and all then like those people. But now coming back to the business, how the business is being affected. We find that many of the customers have started cancelling or placing orders on hold. All the inquiries, at least 80% inquiries, people are saying, please wait till the pandemic is over. So a lot of business which was visible is going further away. And I look through the pipe, I find them moving back. I find that we are losing a lot of skilled labor, and the migrant labor has started going back home. I find that the migrants have a fear factor, and they feel that they cannot be, you see them running on the road, walking on the roads, carrying their children on trolleys, on radars. And it's really depressing to see all this. The supply chain has been broken up. There's a huge disturbance in transportation. Our imported material is lying in Bombay, and because Maharashtra, Pune, and these states have been very badly hit, material is not coming back. There are problems. The custom department is not working too well, and the people are not allowed to move freely. Only 15 to 20% of the truck drivers have come. Transportation is not available. As you know, what has happened in Visakhapatnam and the boiler failure and the most unfortunate incidents happening in Aurangabad. You're all aware, I'll not repeat anything on this except that these things happen when safety goes to the winds. I therefore feel whenever there's a lockdown, the essential services should be there. The people cleaning the plant should be there. The maintenance people, we got permission to call them every week. Now, this is very important for all my listeners. Whenever there's a shutdown, please see that all your services, water, electricity, cleaning, the people who maintain the hygiene of the plant, and the maintenance people come and check the cranes. For some reason, this plant started in Visakhapatnam, and the rest is history. Today, we find that certain sectors have been pulverized. For example, the auto sector. Can you ever imagine not a single car being sold? Can you imagine the government putting purchase of cars on hold? The auto sector contributes to a large portion of the GDP of the economy. And it is one of the biggest employers. And today, the auto sector is put on freeze. All the tier 1, tier 2 suppliers, the people who contribute, the supply chain, everything is broken down. The pharmaceutical sector has been quite adversely affected, even though the government gave permission to start those factories which were on essential services. The migrant labor going back to their homes is going to cause a lot of problem to us, because after the work has started, luckily in Haryana we have more local labor. I hardly have 150 to 200 people. For your information, in my plants in Yamunanagar and I have 5,000 people working in our plant. We have several plants here and one big factory where there are 3,800 people, and two other plants where there are 1,500 people. We have a plant in Bawal, and in Muzaffarnagar, and in Dahej, which is a joint venture with the Japanese called Hitachi Zosen. So the plant there is called ISJEC Hitachi Zosen. When the work started, we found that when you distribute the wages, the people go home. Now, most of you must be facing the problem. Now, let us discuss what you all are facing and I am facing. One is wages of the permanent staff and the contractor staff. I don't know how you are handling it, because the people who have appealed against this to the Supreme Court have not come out successful, and the final decision is still awaited. The advisory to all the industries was pay wages even if the worker was on leave, do not pay off, do not lay off. You have to pay everyone's wages. There is no short distance. The best you can do is pay part wages. You can't give ad hoc or advance. You have to pay either part wages or full wages. If you pay part wages and tell them I'll pay 10% extra every week or something, or 20% every week, or 25, they may stay back and decide to stay back. Otherwise, you are going to lose a lot of people when you pay them their wages, especially the migrant labor. So the permanent labor has to be paid full wages. This is the law of the land, and you can take permission from the government to pay it in 2 or 3 installments, but no installment should be less than the minimum wages. The minimum wages has been set by every state. The oil sector is also bamboozled. The oil sector, you all know, the oil prices came negative, and today the oil sector, that will have a cascading effect on business from the refineries, business for all the oil sector, the supply chain to the oil sector, the manufacturers, the equipment, replacement equipment, prices are going to fall because of the low recovery to the refineries. The cash flow problems are going to be a big problem for you, for us, and for everybody. How are you going to deal with it? There are many methods which we can employ. If you are going to import material, I suggest you ask your supplier, foreign supplier, to take seller's credit. That means he will take a 3 months credit, and you'll get the material, and he'll pay interest of about, per month, he'll pay about 0.25 or 0.5%, because there the interest rate per annum is about 3.5%. Then the best thing for you to save money today, cash, is negotiate on the lowest price, and thereafter ask your supplier to take the hit. During negotiation, when you come to the best price, ask him where the interest, because in India the interest rates are higher. If that is one, if you are buying indigenously from India, then you can also take a usance LC. You can use a usance LC. So by doing this and settling with all your suppliers that you would pay them, say, after 60 days, you would pay, because you have to make a payment Like I'm making a payment of about 15.5 crores on wages in Yamunanagar and about 20 crores in our other offices in Noida, Pune, and Chennai. So this is a huge payment all companies have to make. So you have to conserve your cash. The other thing is you have to follow up the payments. All government departments have been instructed to make payments to all the private sector so that they can pay wages to the workmen. You must take advantage of this condition. Collect your payments. You must have the method of working is going to change. Now we've been able to encash on certain advantages. Now what are these advantages? I told you that whenever such a position comes where all companies are on one platform, all countries are on one platform, and everyone is having problems, cash flow problems, business problems. Number one, this is the best time to train your people. What you will learn in this crisis, in this pandemic, you will never be able to simulate such a condition where there's no cash, there are no orders, you have to do virtual selling. By virtual selling, I mean that you could have video films, you could walk the person around your plant, your customers will not be able to come and see, the machines can be inspected. I know that you're all aware of Lloyd's Register of Shipping and Lloyd's LRQA. They have equipment where the entire equipment is inspected critically and released without them actually coming here. So if they can inspect the equipment, your client can also do. There's software and equipment. Buy the software, buy the equipment, and you can get your inspection done. For the next year or more, you are going to have to employ virtual marketing, digital marketing. People have spoken about digital marketing, virtual marketing. We are preparing write-ups and films to walk around the factory, inspect jobs. This is going to be a good opportunity because your customer will not like to visit India today. You would not like your customers in India to come and see your plant and walk around your plant because he may be carrying a virus. This is the best opportunity to see which of your staff, your boys is really, really good. So your HR department has to be alive to this. This is the time to think which are the products which I should make obsolete. Are some products not going to last their lifeline? This is the time when I feel every company has to go through his products and see what product he has to bring. This is the time when you can inculcate the feeling of innovation, patents. People must be taught to work on patents. There's time on the hands. We have supplied 50 laptops to our staff, sometimes, and some of them are even clerks, and the young engineers to work at home on innovation, improvements, cost reduction, removing all non-value adding activities. I'm telling you that we have been able to cut down the hours of an equipment like a press from 1800 hours to 1300 hours by removing all non-value activities. We have been able to reduce cost by 10% in products which have been made for donkeys of years. For the last 50, 60, 70. I worked here 52 years. And we have been able to invent methods, new machines, develop machines, buy machines. This is the best time to make investments. When it's tough, when cash is difficult, you'll be able to get a better deal. We have been able to teach our people how to work from home. My officers start their day at 8:30. They call a meeting. So everyone changes from pajamas to pants. I can also share with you that I told many of my officers, you start growing mustaches. Because my friend told me someone came in, knocked the door when it opened. He says, "Where's Mr. So and so?" Because everyone has started, the husband and wife have started looking alike. So I told the men to start growing mustaches and beards, just on the light side. This is the time where we have to focus on new territories, new products, new territories, and when the COVID opens, we will have to go to places we never went. South Africa is going to come up. There's a market growing in South Africa. There's a market in Mexico. In America, the sun never sets. You're going to have a very good market in America. Whatever it is, America is going to always be a big market. Mexico, America. Parts of South America. Vietnam is going to be a very big name. So you will have to look for markets in Vietnam, in Indonesia, Southeast Asia. You will have to go to Africa. And the more important place, growing markets like Nigeria in Africa, South Africa, these are going to be new venues. Now, what is China's loss is going to be our gain. That's another thing to look at. But recently I saw out of 57 orders which were normally going to China, only 3 inquiries came to India. Because people think that doing business in India is not easy. So we have to ensure by using our state and union government contacts there, how our people, the customers can come and do business in India or set up business in India. So we feel that what China is going to lose on the long run, as you see in the papers, in the news, the animosity by all countries towards China. We must take advantage of this. People say working from home is bad. We have found that working from home, we can easily get 10, 11 hours of work by providing good internet facilities, providing good office tables there, and letting people work. Some department like design, we have to have very good machines provided there, computers and servers, and sales, and such departments can, and audit, commercial, accounts can partly work from home. Today, we have got permission for about 3,000 people to be working in the plant. And we still continue to make people work from home. You would wonder why. Because we need to keep social distance of 6 feet. Of course, I have the opportunity of working in 2 shifts. But I want to keep a social distance of 6 feet on the shops. So I'm not very keen to increase the labor till I can maintain 6 feet. 3,500 I manage, I'll take it up slowly by maintaining 6 feet of distance. Gentlemen, our young engineers are producing very good improvements in cost reduction, removing non-value adding activities, innovating, and I was asked all of them that at the end of the year, I would like you to file a patent. Every boy or second, third engineer should try to file a patent. I see like our GDP has dropped to 0, it might go to negative, which is a very serious thing. But the silver lining here is that the government is allowing us to work 12 hours a day. Some states have allowed at single wage. My state says still saying has not changed the law, but 72 hours a week. We have told the workmen, we are giving you your wages, full wages, please give us output. The most difficult thing is going to be visiting customers and your customers visiting you. So you must have very good systems to let your customers walk through your plant and to give a presentation to your customers to see what you are selling. And you'll really have to teach your engineers how to read a balance sheet and to make a cash flow statement. From now onwards, every rupee spent must give you a return. So all my colleagues, I request all of you that teach your people that if they want to make an expenditure, they must make a cash flow and see when the return comes. Well, gentlemen, it's been nice talking to you and sharing views with you. I look forward to your queries, your questions, and any suggestion from your side for my company will be very welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jaitka. You have given such a nice detail, I should say micro detailing of various aspects which we all are facing today, and about the world also, how the things are moving and how they are going to take a different angle now. So we have few questions from people. So first question is for Mr. Satish Bhatt. It is from Manas Ghosh. Manas Ghosh is in Netherlands right now. He works there. So he says for manufacturing sector,
Yeah.
work from home may not be possible except few departments.
Yes.
We have lot of challenges. How we are going to mitigate this? Do we have the infrastructure to adopt highly digitalized world?
Yes. So I will tell you, we started this work from home culture from about 10th of March, wherein all our plants adopted work from home culture for all non-production functions. So we equipped everybody with laptop, okay, and those who are on the desktop, their desktop were sent to the home. We have decided that people will come only out of the total 100 non-production guys, only 20 to 30% will come in rotation to the plant, because we wanted to bring down the crowd in the plant to the minimum lowest possible level. In fact, today my Raipur plant and Silvassa plant, which are working, other than production and few other functional people, those are very few, you can count them on the fingers. The rest all are sitting home and doing the job, because everything is on the ERP. We have the BI, we are the one of the best digitalized company in India. When I say that, I mean it. So we can do everything sitting here, sitting at home. Our purchase order are getting released, account and in fact we have done our audit, because we are a listed company. Our audit, and we have the Big Five as an auditor. So we have done our inventory audit by way of digital. So we showed them given the inventory. I'm just giving you the perspective so you will understand that we have given the inventory list to them. They have decided whichever they want to check, and we showed them on the team, okay, the entire stock level with the batch number and all the numbers and everything. So it was done. We have completed our inventory audit. Similarly, today we are actually doing our invoicing, purchases, and all marketing, all other functions. Design guys are also sitting home and doing the design, because we directly work on the ERP in terms of designing also. So everything there is there on the central processing central disk, and people are working on that. Barring where people have to actually be there for testing, even in the R&D center, they are only going there. Rest all are doing from home, work from home. This we have already adopted. So my strength at, say, suppose in Silvassa is 100, I am operating a Silvassa plant only with 35 to 40 people. And balance are there, but they are at home and they are working from home. And they will, out of that, about 15 will come in rotation. We have given them exact calendar, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, who will come, when they will come, and when they will go. So it is very much possible. It is being done right now. And surprise, we are doing the similar kind of output every what we were doing prior to March 15th. Demand, as far as demand is concerned, I am telling you, demand is no problem. The day we have opened, our requirements are coming. We started getting the orders from customer and we started supplying to them also. This is about 11-12 days back we have opened our plant. So it is happening.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Bhatt. So there's another question for you from Mr. Arvind Bahal. He works for ESAB.
Okay.
So he says, what do you see the future for tier 2 and 3 companies in welding industry in these times? As we understand, the welding business happens mostly on a basis of relationship management, how that challenge is going to be managed, and the role of dealers, especially in welding consumable business.
Yeah, as I said earlier, a lot of new normals are going to happen. In my brief talk, I said that things are initially or pre 15th of March era, we were going physically to the customer and discussing about his requirement and all that. Now, even customer would not like you to come to his factory. Please understand. Hence, the things are going to change. Consumption is going to happen. I'm damn sure that within 3 months to 4 months from today, maybe June, July, August and September, the infrastructure industry will start doing at 80 to 90%. So consumption will happen, but procurement norms will change. It need not be physical meeting with the supplier. It will be meeting through digital platforms. Okay, with the supplier. So relationship will also has to be done through digital platform. So you have to create a lot of, as said, there are a lot of marketing activities, videos, presentations, everything, discussion. So people have to get tech savvy. As I said, IT and department's job is also going to be make people savvy on the digital platform. HR also will have to be roped in, and they will have to manage this relationship digitally. Not because you want it, but world wants it, other people also wants it, like that. So there will not be any change, in my opinion. Only difficulty is that the fast, the most important is fast will beat the big. Okay, so you have to be fast in adopting these practices. Once you do that, I think it is not going to be difficult.
Right. Sir, now next question for you only from our Honorary General Secretary of IW, Mr. Rituraj Bose.
Yeah.
He is asking, what about the social distancing in manufacturing sector post-COVID days?
Correct. So that's what, those who are knowing the welding processes, on extruder, when you work, you need to work in a particular manner. So now all that what we have done, we have ensured that by changing the placement and everything, we have ensured that people are not crowding and there is minimum of 5 feet to 6 feet distance between each and every person who is working there. On the wire drawing and the saw wire or MIG wire or any other machines and processes, there are people, those who are only one fellow is operating 2 machines. Okay, so there are not many people, those who are crowding. These are to be actually implement. The biggest challenge is going to be, you understand it, but the people, those who are there, they will have to implement it. And this implementation will happen. SOPs has to be initially managed properly. Once you do that, people are all aware about COVID situation. Today, even the most illiterate man is aware about COVID and the danger it poses to the one's health. So with that knowledge, even the workmen and the people, those who are coming in the plant, they are well educated and they are well aware. So they are also taking the necessary precautions and taking the SOPs to the T and implementing those for their own self health consciousness, as well as to meet the social distancing norms.
Thank you, sir. Next question is for Mr. Jaidka. I'm clubbing two questions because they are quite similar. So one is from Mr. Manas Ghosh, one is from Mr. Karan Panchani. So Mr. Manas Ghosh says, we have seen world economy is dependent on the oil price. In 2008, when the oil price touched $150 per barrel, all other associate sectors like transport, logistic, aviation were booming along with manufacturing. Now, when we see oil prices literally negative, it will definitely impact manufacturing sector, especially heavy engineering. How India is preparing to tackle this? Also, do we have the infrastructure? Something similar to it by Karan Panchani. As of now, crude oil prices are below 1 USD. How it will affect the fabrication and welding industry, as fabrication, welding and NDT field is directly linked with it.
Yes, let me take this question. The oil prices, in fact, even the Sheikh of Saudi Arabia doesn't know which way the oil price will go, because the oil prices have always bewildered everyone in the world. I expect oil prices to start rising. In fact, in India, as you will know, that our oil pool deficit goes down, but oil prices to the customer doesn't go down. The petrol and diesel prices are still at around 70 rupees plus. So there is not going to be a great benefit to us. But yes, the refineries will invest less, and there is going to be less business in putting up expansions. We'll have to look for new business opportunities till the oil prices start coming up. Reliance has already started venturing into new businesses. After Jio, they're still going to other types of businesses. So it's going to be tough with the companies like L&T, Jet, Godrej survive when the expansions in refineries after the refinery in Rajasthan, investment might come down. We will have to depend on some petrochemical projects will go, fertilizer, and then we'll have to look for business in solar. We have to look for business. The business for welding will not go down because the welding industry will continue to prosper in other. The ISRO, space research is going to be another big area. Defense is going to be an area. Railways, solar power. We will have to find more avenues to replace oil till the oil prices pick up again. But America and the Arab countries will not allow the oil prices to remain at the selling price is around $30, $28 to $30 per day. And I think it's going to come up again. So we have to wait a little while for the oil price to come back up and look for alternate products. And I assure you the welds and welding will go on forever, in the foreseeable future at least.
Right. So thank you, sir. So my next question is to Mr. Shah. Post-COVID, how manufacturing sector is going to recruit freshers, as well as how they are going to sustain their existing employees? This is from Mr. Prashant Yadav.
Yeah. See, like as I said earlier also, that multi-skilling will be the main criteria. And while recruiting the fresh one, the first your question, the multi-skilling also will play a role, major role. And the people having a talent and multi-skilling definitely will be given a chance. Coming to the existing workforce, retaining the workforce, as Mr. Bhatt also said in his thing, the demand will definitely come back. It's not that demand is going to go away, because as long as life is there, the consumer will consume the products, and definitely the demand will come back. So hopefully the retaining of people also will continue, as well as the multi-skilling will play a major role.
Thank you, sir. Now another question for you.
Yes.
This is a bit more technical question. As HVAC industry are working over the different solution of the microbial contamination, but those are for recalculation. How can we ensure the same in the big industrial sheds where airflow is not guided?
See, regarding this, the ISHRE has recently released specifications that what changes are required in air conditioning. Particularly, like for example, room air conditioners or window air conditioner definitely has no issues. Of course, some fresh air things has to be taken in. Coming to this, for the big sheds, where the direct throw is there, humidifier will play a big role actually. And as laid down by ISHRE also, the humidity, when we operate in AC, the humidity reduces, particularly in the room, and it's around 20% something. And in order to maintain this conditions right now, the humidity need to be maintained 40 to 60 degree roughly, which will help in this kind of scenarios, and humidifier will play a big role. Apart from that, UV also will play a big role in this kind of scenario.
Right. Now, thank you, sir. So next question is for Mr. Jetka. It is unfortunate that migrant laborers are leaving their working places and returning to their native places. Don't you think big businesses, organizations fail to earn the trust?
Thank you. Your question is very pertinent. You see, while big companies like all the big companies you know, and our company is fairly big with a turnover of 5,000 crore. I have more than 5,000 people in Yamunanagar. We are paying all the permanent labor their full salary, and all the labor through the contractor at least the minimum wages for unskilled, skilled, semi-skilled. We are paying complete these wages, and we can in that way we can maintain goodwill. But all the unorganized sector, they not only did not pay them the wages, sir. I am in touch with a lot of people. They asked the people to force these people out of their accommodation, threw them on the road, and a lot of good Samaritans, Indians, went on the road and fed them from their own wages. A lot of Indians, the Sikh community and all, have gone to these people and fed them, but that is not enough. So they have started going. I agree with you that the government on the Disaster Management Act has made a law that you can't pay them off, but it was not adhered by the small, micro, and some of the medium scale industries. They have not paid, throw the people on the road. They didn't have money to pay the rents. It has been very, very unfortunate, and that has caused the COVID get a grip on our country. Had it not been for these, the Tabligis, people coming from our sentiments for Gurdwaras and churches, not the churches, but the mosque, has played havoc with our country. What has happened by the Tabligis or the people coming from Nanded has caused a lot of problems. We would have been much better off had it not been for these inappropriate things done by people having congregations and getting together. I feel that the government could not implement the law on paying the wages to all the people, and that is why this has happened. The labor is running home. But I think after Chhat, the people will come back. We'll have to wean them away. The chief ministers are already telling people we will sort everything out, come back, because Punjab, Bombay, Gujarat, Haryana, Manesar, all these areas can't run without the migrant labor. They have to be brought back. We cannot do without themselves. So what has been injustice was done to them was wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, Jatka sir. See, there are so many questions, but we are going to take another 3 questions because 6:30 we are going to end it. So next questions are again to you, Jatka sir. How
Yes.
big companies are coming out with solution to prevent unemployment? Many Indian companies are dependent on import from Europe, especially plate, forging for pressure vessel from Italy. How you take care of your supply chain? Do you consider a remote inspection?
We are facing this serious problem. The first question was employment for the labor, you said. For creating employment, the government has to pump in money, has to make finances cheaper. The government will have to come out and put another 1,50,000 crores in the industry, in the system, in the infrastructure, and to give certain benefits, work finances, credits, and infrastructure, making GST easier, the personal income tax, because a lot of companies are the employees are offering to reduce their salaries. I think everyone should do it and has done it. The personal income tax has to reduce, and it has to be made. Everything, the cost of doing business will have to be reduced. Like power, for 1 month, there was people didn't use power. The fixed charges, the security deposits, the government has to pay back, and to pay wages of the workers, we will have to provide them interest-free loans to the companies. The second question on inspection, we are finding we use third-party inspection when we want to inspect our forgings, and in the shops we take the cameras and all around and show the job. We send them the dimensions signed by us, so they are confident that these dimensions are accurate and good. A weld preparation can be shown with a camera and transmitted right onto his table, the customer's table, to show him that the setup is good, running it along the total seam. And when we buy forging from, say, Italy, we ask third party to inspect. We see the job on the cameras, they show it to us, then we ask a third party to inspect it with local there. And if they allow them, it's easier. Otherwise, we will have to use dimensions and what we can see through the camera.
Right. Thank you, sir. So our next question is for Mr. Bhatt from Mr. Devasis Paul. Sir, do you think that Indian manufacturing industry will grow considering a shift from Chinese products from the consumer's point of view?
Sir, you're muted. Your voice is not coming.
Sorry, it was unmute. I'm sorry. Okay.
No
I
issues.
strongly feel that Indian manufacturing companies will come back. They will grow. See, this is a temporary situation. This is not going to be permanent. Only thing is that new normal, meaning new SOPs will be there. While manufacturing has to happen, consumption has to happen. Countries cannot go under lockdown forever. Okay. Maybe 2-3 months. Yes. But after that, because of this 2-3 months of lockdown and some challenges as said by everybody and including me, migrant labor, once you overcome that, which will happen within next 2-3 months, I think consumption pattern will definitely improve. Okay. And that will give opportunity for all of us. You let us look at the global scenario. global scenario also, because China's people will have some kind of, though I doubt, some kind of barrier to deal with Chinese product and China because of this COVID scenario. There is going to be opportunity for us, even in the areas of exports. There will be opportunity for people, those who are wanting to shift the facilities from China to other places. Okay, now what is the share of business we will get or share of shift we will get? That's a different question. One has to aim for, we get higher share of that shift, but that is going to happen. Again, government is not going to stop spending. In my opinion, government was spending for last couple of years. Government will continue to spend even in future. Okay, so manufacturing industry, it's a current phase we have to live through. We have to take care of everybody. We have to sustain, and once this period is over, which is in my opinion 3 to 4 months, I think we will bounce back. We will have a good opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatt. Our last question. The question is from Mr. M.K. Asthana. He is General Manager in NTPC. His question is whether remote inspection feasible in India, whether ISGEC is equipped to offer remote inspection of small and heavy castings to the customers like NTPC. Jaitka sir.
See, a company like ISGEC, and for that matter, other companies who are like ISGEC, L&T or Godrej or so many other companies, they have a certain reputation, and they have ASME stamps, ASME U1, U2, U3, or the nuclear stamp. We have all of them, and most companies like ours have all these qualifications besides approvals from CIB, IBR qualification under IBR. We are qualified to European codes, EN codes, and for boilers. When we carry out inspection, even though we have very good systems, there are methods to inspect. Lloyds is offering inspection with special software. I have not got it done because we have 4 surveyors in our plant. But when the inspector cannot go there, the seller is supposed to verify the dimensions, and there is a big risk whether it carries out ultrasonic test or TOFT or any other ultrasonic examination or X-ray, when the X-ray film can be seen again, and you can record even the UT. So whenever a person certifies a job and gives the dimension, he cannot take away his responsibility, sir. He is responsible, he is giving a statement, and he cannot back out. So if he signs the statement and gives, it is as good as any inspection. And that inspection, when he signs and sends, when the equipment comes to your plant or our plant or anyone's plant, it can be inspected again by a third party and comments given. If they don't meet, he has to take the responsibility. He always gives a statement that I take responsibility for what I've inspected and what I've written. So I feel that even though there are system laser methods and all, and to do inspection, and there are these CMM machines. We have a CMM machine, and they give outputs, computer outputs. We have to rely on human inspection, and which is certified by the company, the head of quality control. All good companies have that quality control reporting to the MD or the director, and they cannot take their responsibility. I think that inspection carried out by a good company is usually quite reliable.
Thank you, Mr. Jaitka. See, there were so many other questions. They were quite similar. I hope a lot of other people, those who have given their questions, it would have been answered also. But still, if some questions are left, they feel, they can send the mail to our mail ID. It will be sent to the respective speaker and will be answered. So I, on behalf of the Indian Institute of Welding Delhi branch, I thank all our distinguished guests. Definitely they have given their valuable time and valuable thoughts to us and to others, those who all have attended this session. So we look forward to some more sessions on other topics. I thank you once again, but I'll just try to request one small thing to all of you. See, we all are using our eyes a lot in all the webinars, in all the meetings, everything, everywhere. So I request the top heads of the organization, please ask their employees to at least devote 10 minutes of time on the exercise of their eyes.
Yeah.
This is going to help them. And thank you very much. Thanks a lot, everybody. So we close the meeting here.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, IIW.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank you
to
very
the
much.
participants and the speakers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nice meeting you, Mr. Jaitka and Mr. Shah and all others. In person, we will meet sometime in future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Look forward to seeing you. Have a great weekend.
Bye bye.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Thank you all.
Thanks and stay at home.
Yes.
Good evening. This is Srinivasan. Of course, I met you nearly about 30 years back when I used to be the sales manager of Philips. I used to come to your office, sit with you regularly, have a chat in Yamuna Nagar.
How
I
are
don't know
you,
whether
sir?
I'm fine. Maybe when I see next time, we'll be able to see. It's nice to see your face after a long time. But I was showing my wife that, this is Mr. Jaitka, whom we used to meet in Yamuna Nagar. In the morning, after you come back from the plant, we used to play the tennis in your ground also. So I recall the good old time. You, Henry Paul, and Jolly, and all the team was there at the time on a YL Mida time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I remember, sir.
Thank you very much. Very excellent. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye to all.
Bye.
Manoj,
How to leave? Where is the exit button in this app?
आप
In
नीचे
some-
जाइए, नीचे आपको वो आएगा रेड कलर का फोन का वो एक मार्क आएगा,
हाँ, रेड कलर का फोन. ओके ओके, ठीक है. थैंक
उस
यू.
पे क्लिक कर दीजिए.
ओके, थैंक यू.
उस पे क्लिक करने से यू विल लीव द मीटिंग.
ओके.